radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening, Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing? Today's Thursday, March 3rd, 2022, 62 days into the new year. Only 303 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Gonna need it soon. A total undisclosed location, but it is beautiful in here. It is. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer, and UnX Networks. Ray Hobbs. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking? Tonight is another Fader night with open lines all night long. Call-in number is 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. All right. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. It is live right in front of me. Hashtag F2B. Of course, hashtag F2BQ is Fade to Black questions. And hello to everybody listening and watching all around the world. How are you tonight? Crazy day. Wow. Oh man, you've seen the movie Don't Look Up, right? Okay, Don't Look Up. Well, let's get straight to the breaking news, because tomorrow, Friday, March 4th, an old rocket booster, once thought to be the upper stage of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, but now believed to be the Chinese Chang'e 5-T1, will slam into the moon's far side at over 5,000 miles per hour. Now, I know what you're asking. You're saying, hey, how do you know that it's a Chinese rocket and not SpaceX, Jimmy? How do you know these things? And one would normally assume, well, they're checking the orbit and the orbit, and they've got telemetry and they're measuring these things and they figured out and they tracked, and then, so they took SpaceX out and they inserted China because they figured out it was a Chinese rocket, right? Telemetry, got computers, science. No, that's not how they figured it out. They just looked at it. And they found the differences in what they were seeing were due to the type of paint used on the rocket. That's right. That's how they figured it out. And that's going to go down. It'll be about 4:30 a.m. later on tonight. Actually, technically tomorrow morning, Pacific time. Okay, there are lots of news going on right now, and I realize all of you are checking it out. Yes, a fire has broken out at Europe's largest nuclear power plant. It's got 6 reactors over in the Ukraine. After a firefight, an attack on all sides by Russian forces that apparently is continuing right now as we speak. More on that in just a minute, okay? So I realize that this is huge breaking news. The other breaking news, and there's a lot of it today, RT America. That's Russia Today. RT America, the television station, will cease productions and lay off its staff, according to a memo from TNR Productions, the production company behind the Russian state-owned network. TNR Production operated offices in New York, Miami, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. This is an official end to RT America. The network, one of Putin's main mouthpieces here in the United States, was dropped earlier this week by DirecTV. The satellite carrier is one of 2 major television providers in the U.S. to carry the network. RT, which operates multiple networks across the world, has seen its reach significantly diminish in recent days as technology companies and television providers around the world have dropped their programming. Russia's state-owned space corporation Roscosmos has announced that Russia will no longer sell rocket engines to the United States. Most rocket launches in the United States should not be affected, but the decision could change how cargo is sent to the International Space Station. This is supposed to affect 2 companies in the United States, the United Launch Alliance and Northrop Grumman. However, ULA says it already has all of the Russian-supplied engines it needs for its rockets, and Northrop Grumman only has 2 flights planned over the next couple of years. So much for that, Roscosmos. An anonymous linked group has defaced a website belonging to Russia's Space Research Institute, otherwise known as the IKI, and leaked files that belong to the Russian space agency Roscosmos. Hackers have breached a subdomain of the IKI website, and although other subdomains remain online, the compromised part of the site relates to the World Space Observatory Ultraviolet Project, a project similar to the Hubble Space Telescope and planned for launch in 2025. A Twitter account tied to Anonymous shared details this morning and attributed the action to a group known as V0G3LSEC. That is their name. All right, let's get off of Ukraine for a second. You can send your name right now for a trip around the moon with just a couple of clicks of your keyboard. Seriously. And check this out. This is what you've got. NASA is inviting people to put their names on a flash drive that will launch on the agency's Artemis 1 mission, which will send an uncrewed Orion capsule around the moon and back a few months from now. This is about to go down. Coming aboard in this manner is easy and it's free. Just click on the Get Boarding Pass button at nasa.gov. Send your name to Artemis, right? nasa.gov/send your name with Artemis. All right. Travel software company Sabre Corporation terminated its distribution agreement with Russia state-owned airline Aeroflot earlier today. Sabre will cut Aeroflot off from its global marketplace, which is widely used by everybody. Travel agencies, third-party travel websites, and all of that just to book flights. The move will severely limit the Russian airline's ability to sell tickets online. Last week, both Boeing and Airbus stopped the supply of parts and support to the airlines operating in all of Russia. Within 24 hours of each other, both plane makers made the announcement regarding their near-term future with all Russian airlines. Records show that there are almost 640 Airbus and Boeing aircraft in service in Russia. The loss of parts and maintenance will effectively cripple their aviation industry, with airlines forced to ground planes once they run out of spare parts. There you go. Crazy news day. I mean, just an absolute crazy news day. And it appears, honestly, that it's getting crazier. We'll see what happens by tomorrow morning, Friday. Let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to today, Jessica Biel. Yeah, Jessica Biel today is 39. Guitarist Dave Amato of REO Speedwagon is 69. Man, he's been in the band for a long time. I think he might have replaced Gary Richrath. I don't know if there was a guy in between him and Gary. He's been in the band for a while. Tone Loc, Funky Cole Medina, today, 56 years old. Our dead guy's birthday today is Doc Watson. Yeah. 1923 to 2012, died at the age of 89. Doc was a guitarist. He was a songwriter, and he was a singer of bluegrass, folk, country, blues, and gospel music. He won 8 Grammy Awards. His fingerstyle and flat-picking skills, as well as his knowledge of traditional American music, were of the highest caliber. Doc was also blind. That's right. He was blind for most of his life from a very early age. It was on May 21st, 2012, he fell at his home. He was not seriously injured in the fall, but an underlying medical condition prompted surgery on his colon. Doc died on May 29th, about a week later, 2012, in North Carolina at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center of complications following the surgery at the age of 89. Happy birthday, Doc Watson. On this day in history, OTD, 1875. That's right, 1875. 150 years ago. 145. Indoor ice hockey makes its public debut in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. That's right. Indoor. It was a little rink, though. It wasn't full size. They only had, I think, 9 players on each team. I don't know how many were allowed on the ice, but yeah, it was small. Fader fact: the reason onions make you cry, okay? The reason onions make you cry is because of a defense mechanism onions have against predatory animals. That's right. Which would otherwise eat them. And that is your Fader fact. Tonight is another Fader night with open lines all night long. The call-in number is 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. Now it's time for me to hit this River Moon coffee. Yeah. You know what I found before I move on? It kind of got hard to find. It was easier about a year ago, and then it kind of went away, but it's back. Dunkin' Donuts creamer. Now, they make a sweet cream, pure cane sugar creamer, right? I got to say that correctly. Dunkin' Donut, man, and it is good. It is good. I shelved my organic Italian sweet cream, pure cane sugar sweetener for this. I did. Dunkin' Donuts. Who'd have thunk? All right. I want to talk about what happened earlier today a little bit. Because this afternoon, I was on with Christina Gomez and her show, Mysteries with a History. And sounds so good. Mysteries with a History. It's a great name. And now she's an action figure, you know. So there you go. And she had on special guest Bob Salas with us today. And it was a tremendous show. Tremendous. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. But The subject of this week's show was, and I quote, this is Christina, would UFOs disrupt Russian nuclear attack? Question mark, end quote. Right? And now, I think it's a very timely discussion. And one of the things that Christina manages to do every week, and I've just got such mad respect for her for just keeping things current and topical and of interest, and I really enjoy watching her mind and seeing where she navigates this whole UFO thing. And today was a great show, very timely, and obviously, it's on everybody's mind, especially inside of this UFO community, because of Putin's words last week. I mean, it kind of just freaked everybody out. I mean, of course, right? This is something we're all thinking about right now. And Putin last week literally threatened the world with the use of his nuclear arsenal. And it was kind of, I almost want to use the word funny. It was kind of funny to watch the media and the world's reaction, and people in general, to Putin's words and interpreting them. In that, it was like, what did he just say? I mean, he didn't actually just say that, did he? And he did. And now, but here's the deal. Although those were just words, and I think that most of the world realizes this, it's just words, right? It's just words. Okay, what do we have to worry about? The United States didn't overreact and match him word for word with, okay, well, you want to put your stuff on alert? You want to threaten us with the worst thing that we could ever imagine in the history of the world? You want to put that in our mind? Well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say the same thing. You need to be worried. No, we didn't do that. And it's just words, man. He's just a little crazy right now. He's a little upset. He's been, it's COVID. He's been isolated. He's just tripping, but we don't have anything to worry about. It's just words. And including myself, I think we all just said, yeah, okay, he's just rambling. Doesn't really mean it, right? Well, it may not be just words. And I'm not here to be an alarmist. No, not at all. But after the show today with Christina, between the end of that show, which was at 4:15, and the start of this show, less than 2 hours, 2.5 hours later, there is breaking news right now out of Ukraine that has all of our worst fears playing out in real time. And that is because Russian forces have attacked the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and it is now on fire. There are reports that this is the largest nuclear power plant in all of Europe. It's got 6 nuclear reactors. And yes, it is on fire right now as I speak these words to you. And as the news broke today, there was a live closed-circuit camera from the nuclear power plant showing the fire and the firefight that is going on to take control of this nuclear power plant. You're watching, this is a nuclear site, a nuclear power plant, and you have got an army surrounding it, firing weapons at it. Now, okay, so now if that doesn't scares me, and we look at this in its totality and discuss this after the show today with Christina, would ET come in and do an intervention and, Malmstrom Air Force Base and Bob Sal. That was a great show. And I would like to think, that, when all the chips are down, A, that somebody isn't crazy enough to push the button, but B, that if somebody pushed the button, that nothing would happen because systems were shut down by ET. You know what? I like that thought. There's evidence out there that that's a possibility. But here's the deal. You would think that as Putin is putting together his attack on Ukraine, that he takes out a big red Sharpie and draws circles around these nuclear power plants and says, okay, we're going to attack everywhere but here. Everywhere but here. Chernobyl is in Ukraine. 1986, 1987, that disaster and what it did to Europe and Russia with the nuclear fallout blowing all over the place, that, you know what? I think that Putin is smarter than that. Well, apparently not. But here's the deal. If anything happens, and I pray that nothing happens, the women, the children, the families, the innocent victims that would be in and around this kind of nuclear disaster, which would be huge, that is beyond the pale, right? But his own forces are there. His own army. His army is surrounding the nuclear power plant and fight. What is going on? And it's on fire. The office buildings are on fire, and nobody knows exactly the implications or how out of control this can get. And one would say, well, the nuclear reactors are, it's heavy concrete and, it's fortified and those would be shut down okay, so maybe that's the goal. But here's the deal. What if the command and control goes up in flames and there is no way to shut this thing down? Is there anything automated in play? Why isn't there a fire control system there to put this fire out? The fire department the firefighters can't get there because they're shooting weapons. So it sits there and burns out of control. It's like your worst nightmare is playing out, and it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. Now, if we're going to need an ET intervention, I mean, now's the time. Now's the time. If something is going to happen, now's the time. This is out of control. It's all out of control. It's all out of control. I don't know. One last comment, and it's open lines all night, and we'll continue this. Maybe not. It's whatever you guys want to talk about. But here's the deal. I'm not so sure. I'm not some financial expert. I'm certainly not some degree educated person on world politics and geopolitics and world history. No, I'm not even going to pretend that. All right. But I do have a mind. And something says to me that even if, like right now, Putin turns around and pulls his forces out, right? Just says, okay, this isn't working, and pulls back. Russia and the people of Russia for years are going to pay for this, for Putin's mistakes. They're going to pay for this. There's just no unwinding these sanctions. The damage, man. It's crazy. The whole situation is crazy. All right. E.T., you know what? And I said earlier today, and this is my point with all of this. I had said earlier today, going back to Independence Day, the movie, and this whole thing, that this underlying thing with the UFO community, that that ET, why don't they come and, if they can do anything, why aren't they giving us the cure for cancer? Why aren't they solving our pollution problems and climate change? Why aren't they disarming nuclear weapons, and why aren't they coming here and saving us and helping us? And my answer to that, we have to help ourselves. We can't sit here and expect some savior, some ET race to come in and save us from ourselves. No. Until now. I think my mind has changed in the matter of an hour. Man, we need some intervention. We need something. And we need it quick. People of Ukraine right now, oh my. All right. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody over there. I stand with Ukraine. All right? All right. This is Fade to Black. It's Thursday night. It is Fader night. It is open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. Are you ready for ET to come and save the planet? All that and much more. Tonight, it's UFOs, supernatural, the paranormal, lost history, time travel, guitars, food, entertainment. Totally uncensored. Whatever you want to talk about tonight, everything's on the table. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on jimmychurchradio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net.
Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at gettheti.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to gettheti.com. That's gettheti.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Gettheti.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years, and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's gettheti.com. Gettheti.com. The tea that makes you go.
the new KUNXDB, the UNX Network, bringing you the best in paranormal programming in premium high-definition streaming audio and video. Log on to the network at unxnetwork.com and check out the growing lineup of programs, including Jimmy Church, Whitley Strieber, Micah Hanks, and many more. Sign up for the free UNX newsletter, follow the UNX blog, or pick up the latest edition of the UNX magazine. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So check us out at unxnetwork.com. Tap the show page and the calendar so you never miss your favorite live shows and podcasts. We are your portal for all things paranormal. The X, explaining the unexplained.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. It is Thursday night. It is Fader night. Open lines. Open lines all night long. Your calls, your conversation. That's right. UFOs, the unexplained, the paranormal, the supernatural, conspiracy, lost history, ghosts. Right? Time travel. All that stuff, including food, guitars, coffee, entertainment. What was I? Are you guys watching Resident Alien? And by the way, I'm in the second half of the season for Star Trek Discovery, which came back like 2 weeks ago. I didn't realize that, so I've got 3 episodes to catch up to there. And but Resident Alien is heating up. I didn't watch the new episode last night, but I'll try to get that in tonight. And then there's the new show by Ben Stiller. Oh man, it was right on the tip of my tongue. The strangest thing I've seen in a while, and it's over on Apple TV. And I'm still trying to make heads or tails about what is going on with that. And that series, and the new episode just released, is about you can volunteer to go work for this company, and when you get hired, they put an implant in your brain, in the back. A little brain salad surgery, cut your skull open, put this implant in there, and then this is what happens. You go to work in the morning, and between 9 and 5, you don't remember your real life, okay, while you're at work, but you know everybody there, your coworkers. And then at 5 o'clock, when you check out and you walk back outside of the building, you're back to your life, your normal life, and you don't remember what you did at work. Right now, it's crazy. And the way this is playing out, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to see where this whole thing is going. For some reason, I just can't. I can't remember the name of it right now. You have to excuse me. It's been a crazy day, but I'm watching that, whatever the name of it is. And there you go. Oh, also the other announcement before I get to the calls. Stranger Things is going to be in May. This is season 5, and it's also going to be broken up: first half of the season, second half of the season, with a space in the middle of about a month and a half. And but they have announced that they will have the series finale after season 6. So this is season 5, and that'll be in May. I think it's May. and that's going to be split up. Still waiting for like the Orville. Don't know when that's going to happen. And also, and I've been looking for this every single day. Moonfall. When is that going to be available for streaming? And I don't know if any of you went out to go and see it in the theaters. Nobody's made any comments, so I don't think that anybody did. But it looks like it may be available for streaming, and the predictions online are going to be sometime after tomorrow, after the 4th, because it released on the 4th of February. And so the rumors online is that, 30 days after the premiere in theaters, we can expect to see it on streaming. It's not going to be on HBO Max. It looks like it's going to go straight to, there's reasons for that, contracts and networks and movie studios and how they work, relationships with these streaming services. But anyway, it looks like it's going to be Amazon, and it's like any minute now. Okay, so and lastly, I announced the Artemis 1, right, to register and get your name on a flash drive and fly around the moon. Dan James just posted his boarding pass right here: launch site, launch vehicle, launch destination, spacecraft, Artemis 1. You get yourself a passport number with your boarding pass. There's Dan James. And then Philip Daniels just posted his. And which now I've got to do this. We got to get Fade to Black on this thing. So has anybody else? Just head over to nasa.gov and get yourself your boarding pass and show it to the world. Come over to hashtag F2B right here, the sandbox, and let me see your boarding passes. So far, we've got 2. That's pretty cool. So I guess, was it easy to do, Philip? Let me know. Dan, was it easy? You just went and clicked and what? You just popped in your info? What did they ask for? Right? Did you have to do a password? Did you have to do anything? Any personal information? Or are you just popping in your name and clicking go? But I'm going to do it. They already have all of my information. What does it matter at this point? But they do look pretty good. Look at that. Yeah. I'll get it done after the show. All right, let's go. It's Thursday night. It is Fader night. I've got lots of calls on hold. Let's see who is up first. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Richard from Missouri.
Richard from Missouri. How you doing, man? What's on your mind?
I've got a good one for you tonight, I think. Continuation from last night's show, Have you ever heard of the Skirvin Hotel in Oklahoma City?
No. What is it?
It's a haunted place that I'd like to put on the map for my hometown. It's at 1 Park Avenue, OKC, and I would love to see some, investigators get their hands on that place for a little while. But I do have a personal story I'd like to relay this evening.
Well, you got to have, it's got to be based on something, right?
Oh, yeah. It's based on a couple of things. So I got married in 2010, and my best man, as a wedding present, he gave us a honeymoon package to have a night at the Skirvin.
Right.
It took us about a year to get to that situation, but we did go. And there's all these stories around the Skirvin, and apparently the owner had an affair with the maid at one point, and she had a baby, and she was locked up in a room. Because back in those days, affairs and things of that nature, you try to keep those things wrapped up. But apparently the story goes that she kind of lost her mind and jumped out the window one night with her baby.
Oh.
And there's just a whole bunch of stories. Even NBA stars and rock stars that have to stay there for various events have reported these things. You can read up on this. But my personal story is, we went ahead and did this thing knowing about the stories and not really thinking much about it. But we got off the elevator when we checked in. I kid you not, there was a cracked door. The first door room was cracked with a crying baby. And we're just like, are we even going to get off the elevator at this point?
Right.
It was crazy. So that's where the creepy vibe started, and there was just no movement in that room. I mean, I didn't have what it takes, the courage to go knock and see if anybody needed help, but we stuck around for about a minute, went ahead and got off the elevator, went to our room, checked in, and the rest of the night we went down to the bar, had a really good time, had some friends out, and then that night we went to sleep. So this isn't really a ghost story, but what I want to say is we had this really weird experience, my wife and I. We both had the most horrific nightmares that you could possibly imagine. And without going into the gruesome details, just, think of your favorite horror movie, slasher flick, and just imagine that kind of situation going on in our dreams. The interesting thing is the next morning, neither one of us woke up mentioning it at all. We were just kind of like both in kind of this weird place as a result of these awful, horrendous dreams. And it wasn't until we were about halfway home on the drive home that she looks over at me and she's like, I had some pretty crazy dreams last night. And I mean, we basically, what we discerned was that we basically had a shared dream where there was some major paranormal activities going on there. And it literally is really the only kind of ghost story paranormal situation it just gives me this total creeps. I don't really talk. This is the first time I've ever really told the story out loud. But just as a continuation to what I thought was a great show last night, I kind of wanted to bring that in. And then just to kind of wrap up, I did mention the rock stars and the NBA players. They have a lot of reports of being off their game, if they stay at the Skirvin, and that's on record. But the experience that I had was actually somewhere in 2011. But let's fast forward to 2018, the Smashing Pumpkins. I'm a big rock and roll guy. I'm a drummer, love all that rock and roll stuff. But I took my son to his first concert, Smashing Pumpkins. It was just a last-minute deal. I didn't even buy tickets. A friend of mine just gave them to me. And we were about 10 minutes late. About the time we sit down and get in our seats and get comfortable, we could listen to about 3 or 4 songs, and next thing you know, they take a little bit of a break, and James Ehaw steps up to the mic and addresses the audience, right? And we're just sitting there, and my son and I are just freaking out. It's his first concert, one of my favorite bands of all time. And James Ehaw goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, if we sound a little off tonight, just want to let everybody know. We were at the Skirvin last night, and we were haunted by ghosts." And I lost it. That's where I lost it, because confirmation 7 years later,
right? And
hearing all the stories,
it looks haunted. Now it's a Hilton hotel. I don't know the history, but it's older. It's big, but it just looks haunted. I mean, that looks like a haunted hotel, man.
I'm telling you, if there's any place I've ever been in my entire life, that's the spot that I totally believe in. That just one experience, it was insane. I'll never forget it.
Yeah,
totally. And then
the lobby totally looks like The Shining. Oh,
that's crazy.
Yeah, okay. I thought you dropped out.
No.
It's got a vibe, man. It's got a vibe going on there. I have never heard of it, but look at the lobby and the carpeting and the floors and this lounge with it's got a Shining vibe to it. Yeah, that looks haunted, man. That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, you get off the elevator and you hear crying babies, like all the stories with a cracked door. I'm telling you, you're going to have a hard time getting off the elevator. I mean, there was nobody else on our floor. It was like they put us in this corner room. And I'll tell you, just to kind of wrap up, I'll let some other callers get on the line. But, about 2 or 3 years after that experience, I actually tried to call the offices like, hey, I'm just trying to kind of revisit my honeymoon. And I was kind of curious. We stayed there a couple of years ago. Is there any way we could get that same room? And I'm telling you, I called 3 or 4, maybe 5 times. They never called me back.
Wow. Interesting. It's right there. It's in Oklahoma City. 1 Park Avenue. Checking it out right here. The Skirvin. It's Skirvin. The Skirvin Hilton. Right there in Oklahoma City. Yeah, go check it out. All right. Hey, Richard, man, thank you for the phone call. Great way to kick off the show tonight, man. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, man. I really, really love this show, and I just want to shout out to JQ Entertainment in the chat room, and just love all the faders. Thanks for having me, and really appreciate it.
Thank you, Richard. Have a great night, and it is time to fade to black. Thank you, Richard. And, I'm looking at it here, and again, it's right there, One Park Avenue, Oklahoma City, the Skirvin Hilton, and just look at the picture of the, okay, so when you look at the outside, I mean, okay. But check out the shots of the interior. If that isn't, I'm looking at it, it's automated, it's just feeding through. That lobby, man, that is The Shining. That place looks like a lot of fun, the Skirvin. All right, let's see who's up next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Walter.
Hey, Walter. How are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Texas, Jimmy.
Right on, Walter. What's on your mind tonight?
So I want to talk to you about the ghost situation you're having, and I had something about the same. So about 7 years ago, I started reselling online, and I was buying a lot of old stuff, antique shops, flea markets, and this stuff was piling on at my apartment. So what happened was, at night, I would hear this noise. Now, it was like a weird noise. It was something falling. It wasn't outside. It wasn't inside. And I would get up, and my dog would go crazy, but there was nothing there. So I would write down the time, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then it happened over and over. But finally, I got to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to let this thing get me, and I didn't go to it. So I moved into a new house, and that's when it got a little more crazy. I had a voice at my door saying, hey, hey. And I know, I could hear it was real silent, but I could hear it in my bedroom. And I have a little dog, and it went crazy to the door, and then everything was gone. So about a month later, I'm sleeping, and I hear 2 women in my bedroom talking. And at that time, my dog goes on the corner and just starts barking at the door, in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, I turned around and I went back to sleep. I thought I got time for this stuff. I got to work in the morning. But I realized that the ghosts are there, but it's on my terms.
And?
Well, no, I'm not giving the ghost, they're there. I watched your show last night.
Right.
I realized they're there.
Right.
But it's on my terms that I don't entertain them. And it's almost the communication. It's almost, it's not even verbal. They send it to me. I kind of feel that sometimes, the little sense of them. But I say, this is on my terms, and we don't act up in this house.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And what I'm thinking about doing, Walter, is I'm gonna have Tony and Cherie come out, and we'll do a little investigation, and then at the end of that, then I'll start to make these statements, right? Because I don't want to do it before they get here, because then there's not going to be anything here, right? That'll kill the investigator, so it'd be fun to get maybe some EVPs, get some meters jumping, maybe capture something on video, and maybe the shoes will be moving and footsteps and all that stuff. But if I chase it away before they get here, then I don't get to have any fun, right? So, and I know you understand what I'm saying, right? So after they're done, we'll cleanse the house, we'll burn some sage, and we'll say, okay, all right, this is it, it's over, and go to another house. But it's done here. But I'm going to do that after we do the investigation.
Well, Jimmy, you're more brave than me, because I don't want to even, I don't even want to go down that route.
Well, see, if I didn't have friends that were like the best investigators, right, in the country, then that's another story, right? I would absolutely do what you're saying. But I have an opportunity here maybe to investigate and try to get some answers and try to figure out what's going on. And so let's get that out of the way, and then I burn the sage.
All right. That's all I got for you.
I'll talk to you, Walter. Behave and be well, man.
You too. I'll call you next time.
Thank you so much. It's a great phone call right there out of Texas. Walter in Texas. Yeah, I'm going to wait. It's not that big of a deal. I'm going to wait. Let's see who's up next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Turn me down in the background.
Halfway home on the drive home.
Hi, Jimmy. It's Deb.
Okay. What's going on in the background?
I just turned you down. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
You're turned down.
Okay.
Are you? So you're not apprehensive at all about this ghost hunt. You're excited, right?
Well, it's going to be fun. I just look at it that way. I'm all for a good time.
Absolutely, and you don't want to scare them away ahead of time, because what are you going to do if they get an EVP and it says something like, Jimmy, get out? Is that going to freak you out, or are you going to just stay put and sage and do everything like you said?
I'm not worried about it. Tony Rathman's like 6'6", so
Oh yeah, he can be your personal bodyguard then if you get EVPs like that.
Absolutely. Okay, so what's on your mind tonight, Deb?
Okay, well, I did want to give you the Bigfoot update, and I'm sorry for last week. I was just really disappointed. I was a little bit cranky on the phone. I just really wanted to get that in. So the thing with you had, and it was because you just had John Greenwald on talking about Bigfoot, trying to get the FOIA reports for the FBI, and back when I gave you my Bigfoot report before, you said, I need to contact John Greenwald and ask him to get FOIA reports for the Bureau of Land Management. And then that never happened. And so, because you had him on a couple more times and it was never mentioned. And so when he talked about FOIA-ing the FBI and how they lost their reports, I thought, well, there's the missing piece, because he could do the same with Bureau of Land Management. And if there was something to report, they would probably have lost those reports as well.
Okay.
I would think.
Right, right.
If there's activity they're hiding, they're going to hide it in every federal department, not just the FBI.
Right. Okay.
So that kind of answered that question for me. The couple things I have to add is I've been talking, with my cousin again over the last few months, and he was able to give me more Bigfoot information. And he said, I asked him about FOIA reports. He says, well, I don't need to get FOIA reports. I see the paperwork cross my desk. I'm involved in the paperwork. He says, I'm involved with the paperwork with the Bureau of Land Management, Deb. They're involved, and so is the Forestry Service. I told you that. And then he said, the reason they don't find bodies is because we believe, he says, I've seen evidence that makes me believe they live underground, deep underground. He says, and I think that these underground places are provided by the BLM. And then he also told me another reason we don't find bodies is because and he was told this by some Native Americans that he's had conversations with. He says, they told me that they believe that the Bigfoot eat their own when they die, and they do it as a spiritual type ritual, because their belief is that when they release, I guess, the soul or the spirit out of the Bigfoot and they put it in their body, that it provides physical nourishment and spiritual nourishment to them.
Ew.
And so they eat the dead bodies.
Ew.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what
so
he was told.
So you're saying he said, it's a he, right?
Yeah,
your
my cousin.
Okay,
He's
your
a fire
cousin.
captain. Yeah.
Okay, your cousin's a he. He said that the Bureau of Land Management is providing underground facilities for Bigfoot to live in. Am I understanding that?
Yes, that they and the Forestry Service are both involved in facilitating underground places where Bigfoot live. That's why they live so deep underground that we cannot find them. We can't find the entrances. He said he's seen evidence of it himself, and that he believes that's where they live. And that's why they just come and go. And I said, well, what about interdimensional theory? He says, I believe that's possible, but I don't believe in it right now. At this point, I haven't seen evidence of that. And he said, and as far as the missing 411, he says, and this is terrible, and I hate to tell you this, but people are being taken, and we do think they're being taken by Bigfoot as a source of nourishment. He says, I mean, think about it. We hunt cattle, like you said, Jimmy. You know, we go hunting for cattle and deer and fishing, and we think nothing of it because we think we're a superior being that gives us the right to eat them. Well, they believe that they're superior to us, and we're just a source of nourishment to them. And it's not, you know, personal or, you know, demonic or anything else. He says it's just, we're just a resource to them, just like animals are a food resource to us. And so when people come up missing, you know, that's a lot of them, that's where they're going. He says, I believe that. And he follows David Paulides' work very closely. He has for a couple of years now. And one of the best clips I've ever heard of Bigfoot is in Missing 411, The Hunted, that David promoted a couple of years ago. I have that movie, and I posted clips of it. And in the third chapter of the movie, he has recordings of this camp he visited where they posted the recordings in the movie of the Bigfoot house, and they are just absolutely chilling and the best I've ever heard. So anyone that wants to rent that movie or, you know, review it, I mean, those are just unbelievable.
Well,
they'll just give you goosebumps.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. Well, and by the way, The Hunted is great.
Yeah.
I've watched it 3 or 4 times, and it's widely available out there. Okay. Well, I got to get to a break. Deb, enjoy your weekend, and thank you for the phone call.
You too, Jimmy, and thank you for taking my call. And love you, Race Hobbs. Love you, Jimmy. Love you, Fadernauts. Good night.
Oh, that's Deb from Sacramento. All right, I need to take a break. Let me get this in right now. This is Fade to Black. It is Thursday night. It is Fader night. It's open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. If you can hear my voice right now, you're being put on hold. That's right. Just like this. Boom. All right. 747-228-2051. Fade to Black, Fader Night. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, VX.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today, and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30 days free on ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Because you never got that pony you always wanted. Damn it. Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer. Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official FADERNIGHT by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight is Fader Night. It's Thursday. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. It's your calls, your conversation, whatever you want to talk about. It's the best part of the evening. It's uncensored. It's unscripted. It's everything. It's like 7-Up. It's the Uncola. Unscreened and unfiltered. It's whatever you want to talk about, right? Lost history, the paranormal, the supernatural, UFOs, conspiracy, guitars, music, entertainment, food, whatever. It's all good. Oh, you know what? I was poking around, and so last couple of nights after the show, so, cooking and doing whatever. And I was like, man, I need something for dessert. I need something sweet. I couldn't find anything. And I was like, man, Lucky Charms. Do I really want to do this? No, I'm not. Couldn't find anything. And earlier today, I was in my refrigerator, opened up the freezer. And you know what was in there? It's going to get eaten tonight. And in the door, the freezer door down at the bottom, I forgot about. I have chocolate coffee ice cream sandwiches from Trader Joe's. and I'm like, what are those doing there? I forgot all about, little bite. It's got 4 in it. All 4 are going to be gone tonight. And missed out the last 2 nights, man. Missed out. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Matt from L.A.
Hey, Matt from L.A. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. Great ghost show last night with those EVPs, man. Those were creepy as they get, But, I got UFO stories. I even got a Joe Pesci Inside a Guitar Center story, but I want to keep with the ghost theme and, share with you a photo that was taken on the 25th of this month. My uncle's home security motion sensor camera took a photo of this ghost in his living room. I sent you the email at 7:30 already. Pop that open. The title is Ghost Picture 2022. Take a look at that. Tell me what you think, man.
Okay, hang on. When did you send it?
At 7:30 tonight. So if you search by time,
I got it. I got it right here. Okay. Holy crap. Okay, wait a minute here. Stop. Just stop the car. Stop the car.
Yeah.
That's a ghost?
Yes, man.
What?
He's had other photos that were good. But this is by far and away the best. My own uncle, so I know where it's coming from. I've been in that house 100 times.
Okay.
That's the best evidence I've ever seen.
Okay, just so everybody knows what I'm looking at, or what I think I should say, what I'm looking at.
Yep.
It looks like Nancy Wilson from Heart, right? Okay, right? Am I wrong? I'm right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like an 18-year-old girl in an 80s prom dress.
Yeah. Okay. So there's the right leg is showing from just above the knee down. I can't tell if she's barefoot, but she's got a dress. It's long hair, hiding her face. And she's walking away. So you're looking at her from the side and from the back.
And you can't see the other leg.
No, there's only one leg here. Wow, that's right. Wow, check that out. There is only one leg. Oh, that's okay. All right.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, there is only. Where's the other leg? There's no way.
There's no way you could fake it like that.
Right.
My uncle's not a Photoshop guy at all. He's a Harley guy. I mean, he doesn't know how to. His sensor has taken other photos too, but that happens to be the best one that he showed it to me a couple nights ago. I'm like,
okay,
I can't
so what's the story? Well, what's the story behind the picture? Why did he take it, and what does he say is going on?
That happened automatically at 11 o'clock at night on his automatic motion sensor camera.
Oh gosh, no way. Okay, wait a minute.
Yep.
So does he live alone?
He lives alone. He lives downstairs. I asked him, like, does it bother you? Does it make sounds or anything? Because I've been in other situations where I've heard sounds, and like my cell phone got tossed off a nightstand like 2 times in a row. So I've been around things, that are paranormal. I'm like, you would think that he would hear something or things would be out of place. And he says, no, he doesn't hear anything, and everything's, right where it should be the next day. So, he doesn't see anything out of place or hear anything, but this caught that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's,
I know, man.
See, what's weird is this isn't anything left to the imagination. Or, you got to squint your eyes a little bit and kind of no, this is a one-legged Nancy Wilson in a dress of some kind, solid. It's a solid figure, but she's leaning forward, and it's obviously female, so I can say she. It depends. Yeah. Does he live in West Hollywood? I mean, it could be anything if he's in West Hollywood.
You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you never know.
But no, he lives in Utah. I mean, he's quiet neighborhood. The house, I don't know how old the house is, and I'm going to ask him what the history is behind it. I don't know what it's built on top of or anything. Mm-hmm. But there have been other images that were caught that were pretty creepy. Like there was some sort of apparition over a crib. Where his grandson was sleeping one time, and then there's another photo of looked like 2 figures on that couch you can see over to the right.
Right.
It looked like there were 2 figures sitting on that thing too. And if I ever get a hold of those, I could send those to you as well. But that's the best one, man.
This is a crazy
the money shot.
I mean, it is the money shot. If everything is as what you're saying. Right, he lives alone. Right, this is a motion capture, video camera inside of the house, and she's not supposed to be there. If everything lines up, then who is that? And but the other part though is There's only one leg. This is the part that I didn't say to the audience. She's leaning forward. So the way that she's leaning or walking, or heading in that direction, there should be her left leg should be way out in front of her taking a step. And it's not there.
It's not there.
Wow, that's a good shot. That's a good shot. Have you posted this on Twitter?
No, I haven't. You're the first person I shared it with. You share it on your Twitter if you want. By all means, no problem there. I'm going to go to his house and film. I ought to do that. I ought to go to his house, take some advice from your, ghost hunter friends, or maybe even invite them out there and document some of this stuff. Maybe get some EVPs.
Now, you said this was Utah?
Yeah, Sandy, Utah, right south of Salt Lake City.
I just wanted to label this picture correctly. No, I'm going to bust this out on Twitter right now. And hold on for a second. This is why I love doing this stuff in real time. You get to hear me type. This is the ghost image that Matt is calling in about from. You said uncle?
Yeah, it's my uncle.
From his uncle in Sandy, Utah. Okay. Boom. I'll just hashtag this F2B. And let's see here. What did I call this thing? Utah photo? Okay, let's see. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Utah Matt. Okay, there it is. Boom. Done. That's a crazy shot, man. Like I said, if the story behind it is, what you're saying, you've got Nancy Wilson's ghost in Sandy, Utah.
I know. It's nuts. It's totally nuts.
The only thing she doesn't have is an Ovation acoustic guitar. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I know, right? That's crazy, man. That's
man.
That's a crazy shot. That's a good shot, man. That's the best ghost photo I've seen in a while.
Dude, me too. And I've seen a lot. I've researched. I'm totally in the paranormal. And I've seen all kinds of documentaries and whatever photos, and that's a good one. So, anyway, I'll let you go. I know you got other calls.
All right, Matt. Have a great night, my friend, and thank you. Just behave this weekend, okay?
We'll try. We'll see. No promises.
I'll talk to you, Matt. Thank you so much.
All right, man.
I have posted this up in Twitter. It's right there. What do you guys think? That's a nice image. I mean, that's one of the best ghost images I've ever seen. Now, look, it's the story behind it. I like the way Matt said, my uncle's a Harley dude. That right there, that's street cred. Right? Harley dudes don't fib. And if a Harley dude's going to, show his nephew a ghost, it's a ghost picture. He says he lives alone. That's an indoor cam captured this while he's sleeping. And it's a one-legged rocker chick from the 80s. Wow. That's crazy. And now I'm sure that there are photo experts out there that are going to look at this and maybe explain a few things away, like, you don't see the front leg because there's motion, and it's it's a camera, and the way that the light picks up, with that. Okay, it could be, but I don't see any evidence of any leg blurred or anything else. And there's nothing blocking what's on the other side. That's crazy. That's a good image, man. That's a good image. That's a good one right there. I wonder what the comments are like here in Twitter. Okay, let me grab this next call. But that's a good one, man. That's a good image. I like this a lot. If you want to check it out, it's hashtag F2B. Go follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio, and you can check this out for yourself. That's no hype on this one. I don't need to hype it up. That's a great shot. That's a great shot. It's a solid. That's not see through. That's a solid That's a solid, I was going to say object. That is a solid woman. And could you imagine, and everybody's going, hey, Jimmy, man, put cameras up in your house, man. Turn on the motion detectors, or, just, go. This is why I don't want to do that stuff right here. Tony Rathman last night, set up a camera, man, on your stairs. Okay, all right. I get that. Do I really want to wake up in the morning and see that? Holy crap, man. Right? Oh, jeez. Oh, man. That's a good image. That's a good one right there. All right, where I'm at. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy. It's Jane from Indianapolis.
Jane? Did we go to school together, Jane?
No, we didn't.
What school did you go to?
I went to Western High School up in Kokomo, Indiana.
Oh, Kokomo. That doesn't count. So you live in Indy now, though?
Yes, I do. I have lived here for many years.
And what part of town?
I am near Greenwood.
You're near Greenwood?
Far south side.
Yeah. Beautiful part of town right there. Beautiful part of town.
Growing like crazy.
Yeah. Well, all of Indy is, and everybody was hoping to move there and be a part of Peyton Manning's thing, and then he split, kind of left everybody holding the back. But so you're south of the 465 in Greenwood.
Yes.
Yeah, man, that's a great part of town. It's a beautiful part of the country, and you're halfway to Brown County. You can always look at it that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're halfway to Seymour.
You get about 15 minutes south of here, it starts getting hilly.
Yep. Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the country. All right, Jane, what's on your mind tonight? I miss Naptown so much. Even though I was there, I was just there twice, 6 months ago. But I just miss Naptown. Driving around, especially this last trip back. The trip before that, a month before. I've got my dad's pickup truck before he passed, right? So, driving his truck, and I'm driving around by myself, and I'm just absorbing Indianapolis by myself. I went by my old office at Bell Laboratories, and I'm just driving around looking at. And I kept saying to myself, Jane, and I'm not making this up. I swear, this is my home, right? I just love the people there, and I just feel at peace in Indianapolis. It's just such a great town. Okay, you called me tonight. What's on your mind?
I have a haunting story for you.
A Naptown haunting story?
Well, no, it's a story that my brother told me of a vacation rental that they took for a 4-day weekend in Wisconsin.
Oh, what happened?
My brother, his wife, his son, and his son's best friend, along with his sister-in-law and her kids, rented a large home on a lake up in Wisconsin. I'm not sure where. So they went up on a Friday and stopped in to the daughter's house, which she was about an hour from the house to get the key. So they get to the house, they have dinner, they settle in. My brother takes his luggage upstairs to the bedroom, and he's one of the people where if you go to a hotel, he gets all of his stuff out of the suitcase and puts it in a drawer.
Yes.
The cabinets. Mm-hmm. I don't do that.
I don't either. I don't even unpack. No.
Yeah. So that's his thing. So he opened up the drawer in the dresser to put his stuff in there, and he said, "Sis, there were personal items still in the drawer from the owner." And he said the one thing that creeped him out, there was a hairbrush there that still had her hair in it. So they thought, okay,
what? Really? Okay, continue.
So he's a little freaked out, but okay. So they have dinner, unpack. The boys go upstairs. They're sharing a room with twin beds. And on the dresser in between the twin beds is a light, and you'll remember these. One of those alarm clocks, wind-up alarm clocks, they were bright yellow out of the 70s that had the bells on top and the smiley face.
Yes.
In the face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's sitting on the dresser. So they go to bed. This is Friday night. And the boys come back down the next morning and they're saying, Mom and Dad, we're hearing voices. We're hearing conversation, whispering going on upstairs before we fell asleep last night. So they're like, oh, yeah, right. You know, they're 10-year-old boys. They're using their imagination. So they go off swimming. There's a lake in the back of the house. And the boys go out. They come back in. Family comes back in for dinner. And the boys go upstairs. And that clock, when they went into the room, is pushed against the back of the wall. Instead of sitting in the middle of the dresser, it's pushed against the back of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So they change clothes. They go back downstairs. Oh, sorry, no. They change clothes. They put the clock inside the dresser drawer.
Smart.
Because they're freaked out at this point.
Sure.
So they go downstairs and do dinner, spend time, go to bed. They didn't say they had any voices or anything that night. They get up, they go out again, they go swimming the next day. They come back to the house. The boys go upstairs, and my brother and my sister-in-law, they hear my nephew go, Mom, Mom. So they looked at each other, and of course, they bolted upstairs, and that clock was sitting in the middle of his best friend's bed, face up, like somebody just placed it right there in the middle of the bed.
What?
And yeah, so luckily it was a 4-day weekend. They were leaving the next morning, and when he dropped the key off to the daughter, she sheepishly asked him if everything was all right. And my brother, he didn't have the heart to tell her your house is haunted, so he told her no, everything was fine. But yeah, that was their 4-day weekend up in Wisconsin at a vacation rental.
Was there anything that came out after that, or is that where that's cool that's where the story ends,
mm-hmm.
right? But was there anything else? Was there any follow-up?
As far as anything following them home, or anybody.
Yeah, well, like the smiley alarm clock showed up in somebody's luggage, right?
No. It stayed in the drawer.
Okay.
And until they found it on the bed, and then they were done with that. So, but yeah, nothing followed them home. Either boy didn't report anything else, after that.
And
I don't.
Go ahead. Yeah, but really quick, the other parts about this where not only the alarm clock and things like that, but I'm trying to say this the right way. Did anybody see a ghost? Did anybody see anything out of the normal? And because of that, the reason why I'm asking is the friggin' brush with the hair in it. What was the story behind that, and was all of this connected?
That's a very good question. My brother feels like that. Now, nobody said they saw anything, no figures or, any footsteps or anything like that. All they heard were the voices and then that clock being messed with.
Yeah.
So had they stayed longer, maybe they would have, but it was a short weekend.
You made me want to go to Amazon and get one of those wind-up smiley face yellow alarm clocks. They got to sell those. Everything's on Amazon. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Jane, do me a favor. This weekend, just do this for me, okay? I want you to go to Steak and Shake. I want you to get a double cheeseburger, a chili 3 ways, order of fries, and a strawberry shake, and take a picture of it and just send it to me so I can just dream. Okay?
Okay, I'll do that.
I'll talk to you, Jane. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks. You too.
Thank you. That's a great phone call right there. And it makes you wonder, right? If you take this to the next level, what's the deal? Is there anything creepier than finding a brush with hair in it? Oh, man. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I just posted my Artemis boarding pass. This is Fade to Black. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
This is Jimmy Church. Jason Martell's book, Knowledge Apocalypse 10-Year Anniversary Edition, is now available. Most ancient cultures speak of a time when their gods visited them. They never say their gods came from across the ocean or from the mountains. They always came down from the skies. Was ancient man visited by gods or extraterrestrials? We have not been told the full truth about our human past. There was a time when all the ancient cultures lived amongst beings they considered their gods. The search for truth leads us down the path of learning where the ETs might come from and why they are here. To understand some of these advanced topics and learn the truth about human origins, buy the new book from Jason Martell, Knowledge Apocalypse, now in its 10-year anniversary edition, available on Amazon.com by clicking on the banners over on our site, or simply visit JasonMartell.com. That's JasonMartell.com. Do you want to be an official FADERNIGHT? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com. FADERNIGHTs. When you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Hi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fader night. Open lines all night long. All right, so I've got some breaking news on that nuclear power plant over in the Ukraine. The Ukrainians have held off the Russians in the firefight. Apparently, the Russians have retreated. We'll see how long that lasts. And firefighters are now in putting out the blaze. This isn't going to sit well with the rest of the world. And I got to tell you something, man. It's one thing. It's the tragedy enough of having a war in the Ukraine is, but putting all of Europe in jeopardy with nuclear fallout and the rest of the world with man, as if it wasn't bad enough. As if it was. I mean. You know what? Enough is enough. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Jim?
Maybe. You want?
Okay. Hey, it's Nitrous Ninja in Pittsburgh.
Hi, Nitrous Ninja in Pittsburgh. That's not even if that's your real name. You need to go and speak to your parents.
Well, no. That's I contact a lot of motorcycle people on the internet, and I ride a Kawasaki Ninja. It's equipped with nitrous oxide injection. So that I'm Nitrous Ninja from the motorcycle scene.
Nitrous. Now, see, that makes sense. It's not as hip and cool as what I was thinking it was. I was thinking it had to do with, propellant for a spaceship, and you were a ninja going to Mars. But actually, kind of the same thing, though. Kind of the same. So, what Kawasaki Ninja do you have?
It's a 2013 Kawasaki Ninja ZX14R.
It's a
1441.
That's insane, right?
Yes, it's insane, but I love it.
Okay,
in fact, it's even hopped up. The ECU is flashed. It has aftermarket exhaust, and it's geared down too.
And what color?
It's white.
Oh, man.
You can see it in the little picture on the internet.
See it in the little picture on the internet. So I actually have to do something like that. I don't even know how to do that. How would I even do that?
I guess you'd have to be on a computer and be on viewing your show through the computer.
Oh.
Well, listen, Jim, I wanted to call up with the most thrilling of all the Mothman sightings.
Okay.
This involves two teenagers from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, Bob Bosworth and Alan Coates.
Okay.
It was back in November of 1966, shortly after the famous Scarberry Mallet sighting, where the bird chased the kids into town in the 57 Chevy.
Right.
Well, Bob Bosworth and Alan Coates were both riding on the same motorcycle. They were only 18, and they were up there in the TNT area in late November of 1966.
Right.
And they were driving past the North Power Plant. That's where the Scarberry and the Mallets saw the Mothman that first time.
Correct.
And as they looked to the left, they were on what's known as the North Power Plant Access Road, which is still there. And they looked to the left, and they saw something up on the roof. And they could see two red eyes, or what looked like reflectors. So they pulled in through the open gate and parked at the base of the building. And as they looked up, the thing was now looking over the edge of the roof. And they thought it was. They weren't scared. They actually thought it was a hoax. So some local dressed up in some kind of costume just to scare people.
Sure.
So the two teenagers went in the building, and they had to go up a couple flights of steps, and they got up to the third floor. And whatever it was no longer up. They didn't make it up to the roof. They were still only on the third floor. They had to gone up one more flight of steps to get onto the roof. When suddenly there were no lights, but there was a bright moon that night, and it was streaming in through the open windows. And suddenly they saw something moving around only a few feet away from them in the shadows. So the two teenage boys were standing side by side, and they saw this large figure about 7 feet high with wings step towards them. And it got to within only 6 feet of them. And they still weren't scared. They still thought it was some local in a costume. And so Bob Bosworth said to Alan, he said, "Alan, I've got my pistol on me. This must be that bird creature that people are seeing. I think I'll give it a taste of my .357 and see what happens." And they were certain that somebody would say, "Oh, don't shoot, fellas. It's just me in a costume." But it didn't say anything. And they said they stood there for about 5 or 6 minutes, only 6 feet away from it, eyeing it up. And they said it was about 7 feet high, and the head looked like an inverted U, and it didn't appear to have a neck. And they could not see the bright red lights, the bright red eyes while they were inside. It was only when it was up on the roof when they first saw it. And
wait, nitrous. Stop for a second. What do you mean an inverted U?
Well, that's what the head was shaped like, an inverted U.
With nothing in the middle? Like
no,
a
it
horseshoe?
was solid. Solid.
Okay. All right, that makes me feel better, because an upside down horseshoe for a head, that freaks me out. Okay, so it's just it's a dome shaped head, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay,
but that's how they described it in Jeff Walmsley's book. Jeff is the man who owns the Mothman Museum, and he published a book about it too.
Okay,
and also there's a recording on YouTube of him talking to Jeff about it. And Alan had said, Jeff asked him, "How close were you to it?" And Alan told him, he said, "If we had taken one step forward and extended our arm, we would have been able to touch its chest." And they said they stood there for 5 or 6 minutes eyeing it up when it slowly turned away and started walking away from them. And there was a lot of broken glass on the floor because the teenagers would throw stones through the windows up there. The building had been abandoned since 1945 at the end of World War II. And then it turned from the balcony, this third-floor balcony, onto a little walkway. And it was demolished out at the end because the demolition of the building was ongoing at that time. And there was no railing out at the end. So Bob Bosworth called out to it. He said, "There's no railing at the end. If you step off the end, you'll have a 3-story fall onto the concrete floor." And it was at that time they suddenly could hear wings flapping. And the two boys suddenly realized at that point that this was not a teenager in a costume.
Right.
This was really something.
Right.
And they were suddenly terrified.
Right.
So they ran down the 3 flights of steps and went outside and looked up at the roof to see if it was looking over the roof again, and it wasn't. So they got the bike started, and they rode into town. And they knew that it had chased Linda Scarberry and the Scarberry Mallets that night. And so they were afraid it would chase them on the bike, but it didn't.
Right.
And Bob said that Alan was the driver, and Bob was on the back. And Alan let Bob off at his house and then drove to his own home. And he told his parents about what they saw up there. And Alan asked his dad if they thought they should call the county sheriff, George Johnson. Mm-hmm. And his father told him that the sheriff can't do anything about flying monsters, and that the people in town would just consider him crazy like many did the Scarberry and Mallets. So that was the end of their sighting. But what I always thought was so frightening about it is how they were only 5 or 6 feet away from it. And it went on for 5 or 6 minutes, how they stood there. So close.
Right. And the shape of the head, okay, I'm almost picturing nitrous. I know I'm not correct here, but just go with me for a second. Almost like it's wearing a helmet.
Correct.
Right? But
Bob described it as an inverted U.
But you can see the red eyes.
Correct.
So
but not when they were inside. It was only when it was up on the roof they saw the glowing red eyes.
But
when they were inside the building,
right,
it was dark. Jim, it seems like it needs some light shining on it for those eyes to reflect. If it's in total darkness, then those eyes don't shine.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
See,
I can see that too.
When it was up on the roof, even with them riding by with the headlight of the bike,
Right.
I guess it was enough light to make them light up.
Right.
But once
right.
they were inside, they didn't have any flashlights. And they even said the only way they were able to see around that night, there was brilliant moonlight shining in through the windows.
Right.
And like I said, most of the windows were broken out because the teenagers would go up there and drink beer and then just throw stones at the building, and most of the window panes were broken out at that point.
So what do you think? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's a real monster. I mean, if they heard it, if what they're telling is absolutely true, and it jumped off the end of that walkway, which was 3 stories above the concrete floor, and they heard the wings flapping, well, that's not a man.
No. And it's also pretty dang scary. Okay, let me Nitrous, you know a lot about Mothman and Point Pleasant. Almost
it's
too much, almost disturbingly so. But anyway, let me ask you this, because you know so much more than me. Why do you...
Jim, let me
hold on, Nitrous. Remember whose show it is.
Correct.
Don't forget. Okay. Let me ask you this. Why do you think in Point Pleasant, I'm not talking about the world or the rest of the United States or other sightings or crypto this, I'm not talking, I mean right there. Why do you think there was a sudden appearance and then everything subsided a year later? Why do you think it happened like that? I think that's one of the most interesting parts of the entire story.
Well, Jim, see, they said there were 3 Shawnee burial sites there at that TNT area. Remember, it's 8,300 some acres. And when they built the facility during World War II, supposedly the 3 Shawnee burial mounds were just bulldozed flat, and the skeletons were not reburied anywhere. And many people feel that the desecrated Indian burial site has caused the haunting. And not only that, see, there were 3 big UFO flaps from 64 to 68. And during that time, in the fall of 66, the second of those big UFO flaps had started. And John Keel said that paranormal activity was spiking everywhere. He also did a lot of investigations at Mount Misery on Long Island. And he said while the things were really going on at that TNT area, the paranormal activity was also very high at Mount Misery on Long Island. And he said it seems like all the haunted places flare up at the same time.
Now, okay, so, but what would the UFO side of it would separate it from the indigenous culture and the burials and the desecration? So we have 2 different. Which side are you leaning on?
Well, see, I also think that the UFOs are manifestations of psychic energy. I'm not a nuts and bolts UFO guy that thinks they're spaceships that have come from another planet. I think they're manifestations of negative psychic energy.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
A lot of researchers have come to that conclusion.
Well, I think that could be some of it. It couldn't be all of it. I mean, I don't think that the beer can UFO that we all saw up in Washington was a manifestation of our psychic mind. Not at all. That was no.
Well, did it just disappear on you?
It did.
Well, that doesn't seem to be a spaceship. You'd have seen it take off.
Again, this is all opinion, and I appreciate that. There is an interdimensional aspect to it. Did it go into a portal? Did it it's got a wormhole? Is there some kind of floating Stargate up there? Is it cloaking itself? Is there some kind of stealth capability? I don't know. I there's a million answers to it, but I can tell you this: what we saw was a craft reflecting sunlight off of it. This wasn't some manifestation and or something in our minds, and we all saw it at the same time. So no, unless what you would be suggesting is an entangled hive mind, and one of us generated it in our minds and fed it into the minds of everybody else at that instant. I mean, anything's possible. Certainly, Nitrous. Anything's possible. But that was a real craft.
There is a Mothman UFO together sighting. In the spring of 1967, a woman was driving south on Route 62 that runs parallel with the TNT area, and she looked to her left out the window of her car, and she saw the Mothman fly from a tree up to a UFO that was hovering in the sky.
Yeah, and that was over the river, right?
No, it's about a half mile in from the river.
But she saw I remember hearing this sighting. The UFO was over the river, though. Right?
There were UFOs seen over the river, but this particular sighting, the woman said it was actually in to her left, which if she was going south on Route 62, that would have made it over the TNT area.
I got you. Okay.
And she said it flew from the tree up to the hovering UFO, and it went in through an open door, and then the craft turned red and flew off to the north.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. If she's going south, to her left is land. To the right is the river.
The river's about a half mile to the west.
Hey, by the way, before I let you go, Nitrous, I looked at your picture. That's a nice bike. But you can only see the headlights, man. I want to see the whole thing. Yeah. I'll talk to you.
I have another bike too. I have a 2007 Suzuki Hayabusa.
Oh, that's even
not
crazy.
As fast as the Kawasaki.
Oh man, you're just out of your mind. I like the Hayabusa. You know what I liked about the Hayabusa? You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Alien.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's got that organic thing about it.
They've just brought out a third generation, and it's a very nice bike, Jim. If you're looking to buy a bike, you wouldn't go wrong with that.
No, I'm a Harley guy. I'm all Harley all day long.
Well, some guys have both. There's guys that have Harleys and sport bikes.
I'll talk to you. Nitrous, enjoy your weekend, man. Great phone call.
Okay, Jim. Hang in there, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you so much. And, man, he knows more about Point Pleasant than just about anybody that I know. And I really enjoy Nitrous. I really enjoy your phone calls, and thank you for putting up with me. But I am fascinated with Mothman. I want to go to the festival. I do. I really want to go to the Mothman Festival. All right, let's see who's up next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Thomas Hunter.
Hi, Thomas. How are you, man?
Okay, I got a question.
What's that?
What is the difference between what happened during World War II with the Nazis and the concentration camps and all those millions dying? And you had, you hear the stories, the civilians, well, they saw the trees, they smelt the flesh, but they just really didn't know what was going on. Okay? So the question to you and to me would be, here we are, 20, 30, 40 years later, and are we any different from those people in those locales that saw that, devastation and burning of people?
What's the question, Thomas?
The question is, what is the difference between now and how we are reacting to the annihilation of the Ukrainian people? Is there any difference?
I'm not sure that I understand the question, but I'll say this. I'm not even sure that you're calling the right show for a question like this, because it's not anywhere near in my wheelhouse. So I'm not sure I'm understanding the question, but somebody out there, you can posit it to them and see if you can get the answers that you seek. All right, I have no idea, man. I have no idea. None. Absolutely none. But there you go, Thomas. I wish you luck, man. Go out there, make some phone calls, and talk to your friends. I don't know. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Sean from Baton Rouge.
Hi, Sean from Baton Rouge. How are you, man? What's on your mind?
I'm good, man. Have you ever heard of a hall tree, like a piece of furniture?
Say that again.
I got a ghost story for you.
Okay, wait a minute. What? Hall?
Hall tree.
HALL, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's one of those things that you used to put in your by your front door. It was
to hang your yes, yeah, to hang your hat on. Yeah. Of course. Okay, yeah, those are called hall trees. I haven't had anybody call it a hall tree in like 50. My grandmother called it a hall tree. Right.
I live in South Louisiana by the Myrtles Plantation, so that's what we call them down there.
Fair enough. So a hall tree is, the tall, thin thing. You'd come in the house or an office, right? Hang your hat, hang your coat, and that's a hall tree. Yes, absolutely. Okay.
It always had a big mirror in the middle of it. So the bottom had a section that you could open up, throw your shoes in, and then it had a big mirror, like a real tall chair, and then the hooks were on either side of it.
Right.
And the mirror mine was a real antique. It's about 100 years old. And anyway, I was redoing my house. We had a duplex. And I was redoing the other side. And every day for like 6 months, we had gotten, let me back up. We had the hall tree, was given to us by a friend of the family. And his sister had killed herself in the house, unfortunately. But we had received the hall tree as a gift from them and put it in our house. And so come forward, I'm working on the house, and every day I own a house that's like 130 years old. I kept hearing these like like these loud, like pipes shaking and stuff under the house while I was rebuilding my house. And I just thought it was pipe shaking. I couldn't figure out what it was. It would reverberate through the entire house.
Right.
And then for a long time, this went on for a good 6 months, and I just chalked it up to me working on the house. So then one night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I had talked about it a bunch to my wife, but 3 o'clock in the morning, we're laying in bed, and we had this thing in the hall outside of our bedroom door, and it started up again. And this time, I'm on my side of the house. I'm like, what is that? So I get up. It's dark. I walk into the hall. I flick on the lights, and this thing is, the whole mirror in the backside of it is shaking so bad. The sound that I was hearing all that time was the big, thick mirror slamming into the wood that surrounded holding it.
Well, now you know why they gifted you.
Exactly.
Now you know why they got that thing out of there. I want to hear the rest of the story. I've got to take a... Okay, let's see if we can get it all in. Do you still have said hall tree?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, continue.
And I'm standing there, and it's 3 in the morning. I'm standing there in the hall, and I'm looking at this thing shaking. I'm like, I grab it, and I stop it. I calm it down, and then I'm standing there watching, and sure enough, it starts right back up. And it's shaking back and forth, and the mirror's slamming into the frame. And I just turned around and said, no. And I just went back to bed, shut the door, and went back to bed. And after that, it never did it again.
Oh, never did. That's crazy. So it was a haunted object.
Yeah, it like it wanted me to acknowledge it, and it never did it again. And we had a similar story with we got out of the Myrtles. Same kind of thing happened, but that's another story. But that hall tree did that for 6 months. I thought it was pipe shaking in my house. And at 3 in the morning, I'm standing there in my drawers looking at it. It's shaking. I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with this. And I put my hand on it, stopped it, started back up again. And I went back to bed, and I told my wife the next morning what it was. And it never did it again.
Now, this is what I would have done. This would have been my follow-up. And so tell me if you did this. Did you go and put something behind the mirror, right, to take up the space, or put something in front of the mirror to hold it back? Did you do the man thing? Did you fix the mirror, or did you just leave it be?
I left it, man. I took it, I shook it. I actually thought about maybe trucks going down the highway and vibrations and stuff like that.
Right.
No, I just kind of looked at it and was like, I swear to God, Jimmy, was like, acknowledged it, saw it, and I put my hand on it and stopped it, and it started back up, and I just looked at it and said, I'm going back to bed later, dude. I'm done.
Right.
I'm not dealing with this. And I just went back to bed, man. And then after that, it ended. I never saw it again, man. It never happened again. Still sitting there.
Yeah, we see. But did you have to lie to your wife? I fixed it, honey.
Man, she was all into it.
No, I'm saying I fixed it, honey. I put in a couple of screws, just to reassure her. Did you at least do that?
I could say I did, but no. Now that I look back on it, maybe I should have done something like that.
Yeah. I mean, just put her mind at ease.
I just said, "Hey, man, Terry, the hall tree is fixed, man. I saw what it was. It was shaking, and she's like, I told you the thing was haunted." I said, "Well, it's not anymore." Okay, so that was it. It's not the first time with pieces of work that we've had out of the Myrtle, so.
Man, that's a great story, Sean. That's a great story, and I love it. Yeah, it was haunted, though. Yeah, no question about it. Hey, man, enjoy your weekend, and thank you for the phone call. Be safe down there in Louisiana.
Buddy, take care, man.
I'll talk to you. Do you guys remember? Thank you, Sean. Do you guys remember what was it called? The kibitz box that haunted. What was that thing called? The kibit. Hold on a minute. The Kibit box. What was that thing called? Dybbuk. The Dybbuk box. There it is, right there. Yeah, that thing was haunted. I'm looking at the pictures of it here. Dybbuk. Dibbuk. And yeah, man, you got to be careful. That's why you just buy everything from IKEA and bring that stuff home. Just don't get the used stuff, man, from the Myrtle. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. It's Thursday night. It is Fader night. Open lines all night long. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal God on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, The X.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? UNX Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNX-DB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
Why is it we're not very good with our health regimen until it's too late? We don't put oil in the car until the engine blows up. When the body's out of balance, your health is not so good. Give your body some love. Log on to wtih.com. That's wtih.com. Try our Life Change Tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to getthetea.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did. That's getthetea.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard, available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
Gold loves chaos, uncertainty, and disarray. History shows us what gold does when people aren't sure about the government, the stock market, their jobs, or their retirement savings. Our national debt is skyrocketing. Gold and other precious metals are a defense measure against inflation and a stock market that might take years to recover. So what can you do right now to protect yourself? Call United Gold Group. We offer gold and other precious metals delivered securely within 72 hours. Are you worried about the stock market? We can also help you set up a real gold or silver IRA or a 401k. Safe and secure. United Gold Group makes gold ownership affordable. Call now and get up to $2,500 in free gold or silver with a qualified IRA. Call 800-753-8534. That's 800-753-8534 or visit UnitedGoldGroup.com.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. And I reset the phone lines during the break. And if you're on hold right now, it's starting to populate again. Just stay right there. And the 747-228-2051. And it was just getting shaky. I can always tell when the software's starting to slow down. So I just reset it. Anyway, 747-228-2051. The TV show that I was thinking about, it's called Severance, directed by Ben Stiller, and it stars Adam Scott. And you just have to check. It's totally original. And the how do I hold on for a second? Let me do this. Because the cast, John Turturro is in it. I want to get this cast up really quick. And let me pull this cast up. Here it is. An amazing cast. So it stars Zach Cherry, Brett Lauer. Let me see who else is in it. Trammell Tillman is amazing in it, by the way. Jen Tulloch is also great. John Turturro. Patricia Arquette is in it. Christopher Walken is in it. It's got quite the cast. And anyway, the reason why I'm bringing it up, I love quirky, weird things. It's just, I'm putting you on hold. Just stay right there. I like quirky, strange things, right? Well, this even for me is like too quirky. It's like too strange. And I dig it. But even for me, so you've got to check it out. And I'm hoping that some of you are going to figure this out and say, okay, Jimmy, this is what is actually going on. So just check it out. It's called Severance. And Adam Scott, who I just think is great in everything that he does. He's just really good. And this is spot on the money. Okay, so let me see here. Let me see what I've got going on. Let's go here next. Severance. I'm telling you, put an implant in your head. When you go to work, you don't know what is going on in your life. You don't remember it. You don't know who you are. Then you clock out at 5 o'clock. You leave the building, and now you're back into your original life, and you forget everything that you did that day at the office. And I'm just going to leave it right there. That right there in its foundation is strange. So check it out. It's called Severance. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Mike from Buena Vista, Colorado.
Hi, Mike. From who, what Vista?
Well, it's Buena Vista, but if you speak Spanish, it's Buena Vista.
Buena Vista. Yeah, okay. There's a joke there. I'm just going to let that go for now. But Mike, what's on your mind?
Oh, ghosts and guitars, man.
Yes.
I've got a 1989 Fender Stratocaster from Japan.
Yep, that's a great guitar.
And, yeah, they can't harvest the wood anymore, so it's Japanese alder and Japanese maple neck.
That's a great guitar, hard to find too as well. And I had a couple of made in Japans back in the late 90s. I let those guitars get away, and I had a black one with the maple neck, a 1960s, like the Clapton Blackie. And then I had a 1959 reissue made in Japan in seafoam green with a maple neck.
Oh.
And nice. I let those they were just perfect necks and stuff. But I let them get away. What's on your mind tonight, man? What's going on?
Well, I was listening last night when you had the Ghost Hunters on, the couple, and it was bringing back some memories of when I grew up in a haunted house, and there's a few stories from that really stick, But when I was in Minneapolis, I lived in this old brownstone apartment on like 7th Street and 7th Ave Southeast, and when I moved in, I got into my bedroom. It was the first apartment that I had outside of my home going to college, and I was going to music school. I was going to school for blues and jazz guitar and music theory, and I get into my bedroom, and every night, no matter what I do, closet door open. Put something in front of it. It's open at the end. Wake up in the morning, closet doors open. It's like, okay. So we're living there for a few years, like 3 years. And in that time, I had I was the only one in the house at the time, and I was taking a shower, and the cold water cut out, so it was just hot water, like, somebody it was an old brownstone, so if somebody on the third floor flushed the toilet, the water would cut out in the shower. So I step back and I wait for the shower to come back, and it never does, and I check, and the cold water was turned completely off. It wasn't even it was something turned the water off on me. And then I was walking down the hall one time, and the light, it was kind of like these sconces that stuck out of the wall, like in old houses. And it had a little clicker on the bottom where you would click it and it would turn off. And I was walking past it, and the light turned off, and I figured the light blown. So the closet for the light bulbs was right next to me. I went in and got a light bulb, and I turned the sconce off before I unscrewed the light bulb, and the light went back on. So something that obviously turned that thing off as I was walking past it. And then my roommate had got tripped a couple times walking through the apartment, just all of a sudden on the ground. And it turns out that everybody in the apartment building had an experience like this. And there were 3 girls that lived in the top left apartment. And one day there was a moving truck out there, and 7 people witnessed this ghost appear while they were watching a movie. And there were twins that were living in there, and they moved out the next day. And
did
so
you ever?
Turns out that
Did you ever meet the ghost?
I never saw it manifest, but I had plenty of experience.
Yeah,
with
sounds
it. But
like
there were
it.
several people saw it, and it turns out that a lady just a season before we moved in had hung herself in one of the apartments upstairs.
Oh no! Okay, so that's when you moved out.
Well, I stayed there for a little while longer because I didn't have much of a choice. It was a good apartment, but the girls upstairs who lived in that apartment that she hung herself in had they moved in with clothes in the closet of the hallway, and it was that lady's stuff. So she was obviously hanging around with that stuff. So they got it out of there, and somebody burned sage or whatever they did, and everything kind of stopped at that point. But
hey,
up
Mike,
until that,
Mike, where
Yes,
are
sir.
you? Where are you from? Nationality?
I'm from Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
You're from Sheboygan. What about your parents?
They're from Sheboygan.
Because you have an accent like Giorgio Tsoukalos. I feel like I'm talking to Giorgio right now. And it's just weird. Just weird, man. I thought you were going to say you were from Greece. But
no, but I've been to Greece.
Yeah, you're carrying some of it with you. Hey, Mike, that's a great story, man. And how long did you live there before you moved out?
3 years.
3 years of hauntings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing crazy happened. Nothing violent.
No.
You just went with the flow.
Yep. Well, like I said, I grew up in a haunted house, and some pretty bizarre stuff happened there as well. So I was pretty used to it at that point.
Right. All right, Mike Giorgio. Okay, Mike. Enjoy your weekend, man, and thank you for the phone call. That's awesome.
Well, thanks a lot. I was really happy to be here. Have a great one.
Yeah, you too, man. That's a great phone call right there. Didn't he sound like Giorgio? Kind of got a little Giorgio Tsoukalos when he said stuff. I was like, man, I got Giorgio on the phone, and I thought for sure he was going to say he was from Greece. That's why I asked that. I thought for sure, and maybe I shouldn't have said anything and just let that go. But that's the wonderful thing about Fader Night. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. I guess everybody did enjoy Tony and Cherie Rathman last night. That was a great show. But to have it roll over to tonight and getting ghost stories from all of you, I love it. I love it. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Good evening, Jim. It's Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina. How are you?
I am doing well. I have the Councils of 9 and 12 with me, as well as Metatron, and they have a message for humanity regarding the thing you opened the show with.
And what is that message?
Hello, humanity. Anyone can lay a truth or a lie before you. It is up to you to discern what resonates within you as truth, so choose it. No one makes that choice for you. This makes you responsible for it. Following orders does not absolve you of responsibility for the choices you make and do. There are no authorities, for each of you are sovereign beings who are self-governing, so self-reliant. You have free will given to you. Use it. Stand up for yourselves and understand no one has a right to do anything to you. You are not required to continue conforming and complying with what is dictated to you. You have a right to stand up for yourselves. You are sovereign beings. Act like it.
Wow.
You are making the decisions in truth is what it is you need to choose. Regardless if it is a lie or whatnot, you are responsible for what you choose. Namaste.
Yeah,
Adonai.
that's strong, and and thank you. That was the I want to thank that was the Council of Nine and Metatron.
That was the Councils of 9, 12, and Metatron.
I want to thank the council for that. And here's the deal, Sabrina, and I want to thank you for taking the time for calling in. Especially right now, right? I mean, like right now, that is it's just wise words that we can all live by. I mean, it's nothing that is, unachievable. You just have to do it.
One moment. Each being is required to stand up for themselves and choose for themselves what they want to be and what they want to experience. They are not required to continue accepting what is being handed to them. You have convoys going across your nations. Each of you can either sit there on your derrieres or stand up, walk out your doors, and join your brothers and sisters in making your voices heard peaceably. You are the ones who rule your world, not these people you have placed in these chairs. You have a right to stand up and raise your voice to be heard peaceably. Love each other. You are all the same and equal. No one is above or below another. There are no authorities. Accept each other as you are, for you are each perfect as you are. Be willing to love. Sorry.
That's strong, Sabrina. That's strong. Where are you guys right now? What part of the country?
Quartzsite, Arizona, so you figure out the energy that's coming through here.
Yeah, I bet there is, isn't there? Well, that's why they call it quartzite. And how's Alex? Is he there?
Yes, sir, he is.
Yeah, tell him I said
if you'd like, I can hand you over to him.
Yeah, let me talk to Alex.
One moment.
Good evening, Jim.
What's up? What's up, troublemaker? How you doing?
Oh, doing all right. Just, hanging out in the desert.
Yeah, what's going on in Quartzsite tonight? Outside, up in the sky. Anything special?
I don't know. We're watching you on the big screen.
Okay, yeah.
Might go out there later and look at the stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The stars out here have been amazing the last few nights. And it's finally, here's the deal. It's finally started to warm up a little bit. So you can go outside and not get uncomfortable, right? In like 5 minutes, you're just like, okay, I've had enough. But it's nice enough outside right now where you can just kind of go out and just stare. It's my favorite thing to do. So there you go. But you guys have a great rest of your night and safe travels. Where are you guys off to next?
I'm not sure. It's we're just taking things one day at a time. So we got a permit to be here till April 15th, and we'll just see where life takes us after that.
Man, you guys live it. You guys live it like we should. I absolutely love it, man. But listen, Sabrina, behave. Alex, behave. And just check back in with me next week, man. Let me know what's going on. Okay?
All right, we will. Have a good night, Jim.
Yeah, you too, Alex. Thank you, Sabrina. And that's a great message to humanity. Absolutely love it. And those two live it, man. Those two live it for real, like for reals. Totally dig it. All right, let's go back to the phones. Let's see who is up next. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
How you doing? It's John. Is it Jimmy?
Yes.
Yeah, of course it's Jimmy. How you doing, man? Thanks for everything you do. Before I get into my spiel, I think I should probably mention, I'm not sure if she would want me to, but I think it's probably good. Are you familiar with Barbara Lamb?
Yes, I am.
I don't know if you know already or maybe you know. She is in the hospital right now.
Oh, she is? No, I did not know that.
She, I think it's a hip or something like that. A fall of some type. It isn't like life-threatening, but I think she's going to be laid up for a while. I don't think she has family.
Oh, she's got a broken leg. Okay. Wow. I wonder how she broke her leg. I did not know.
I know you're in SoCal.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I'm just checking. I thought I saw another strange post, but it looks like that's what I'm seeing here. But I'm just looking at this really quickly. So, if anybody's got any updates with Barbara, I can certainly call her tomorrow and see if I can get through.
I was thinking if you probably have more contact than me. I think you're in SoCal though. She's in SoCal.
Yes.
I'm in SoCal, so that's how I know. So I don't know if people can set something up, give us some support, some calls, maybe some.
Yeah, I'll get an update tomorrow, Sean. Not a problem. And I'll see if I can get something posted up in social media. So there you go. All right.
She's not the type to ask for help. So, but yeah, otherwise we can do that for her. And then I just want to say something real quick about my experiences with obviously UFOs and aliens. And you talk a lot about that. You have a lot of experience yourself. Have you ever read that book, Alien Interview, by that woman who claimed to be at Roswell?
Alien Images?
Interview. Alien.
Oh, yes. I've read. I've read parts of it.
So lots of books, lots of claims out there. Obviously, everyone has their story. I gotta say, with what I personally see, the road has led me down. I mean, I think there's disinformation in literally everything, any book, any documentary, and everything. But my path has led me down a similar way of thought of prison plans, the thought of these entities having something to do with death, and this whole, step into the light thing. My question to you is, where has this all led you? What do you think in the whole cosmos? What do you think is going on as far as you think kind of like the book, like my thoughts, like other people's thoughts? It's all a cosmic game. Is this some type of prison planet? Something to do with
right. Well, Sean, I would say that it's a little bit of all of the above, and that's not a cop-out. With what I have, and I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can before the break. And you're right. I am in a pretty good position to collect a lot of information. And it's only because I interview so many people and I do the show every single night and the other conversations that I have off of the air and so forth. So, and plus I do a heck of a lot of research on my own too as well. But my answer to that in a very direct way, and it's something that I try to mention as often as I can on this show, is that I think we have moved on from a big question mark, wondering what is going on for the last 10 and then moving on 10 years to 5 years, maybe even 3 years now. where we have moved on now into something extremely tangible. And it's not one specific thing anymore. It is the Department of Defense, it's Capitol Hill, it's science, it's witnesses, it's sightings, and everything that seems to be happening with the media and television, and everything is happening all at the same time. The question is why? Why is it all happening now? And I think that the way that I feel about that is we are on the verge of something big. I just don't know what that is. Is it going to be something appearing in the skies? Is something going to show up in our solar system? Is it going to be like the Arthur C. Clarke and Rama and the Garden of Rama? Is it going to be something like that? Or is it going to be something else? And is it going to be a reveal from science and life on an exoplanet? Is it going to be the Department of Defense and our president stepping forward? I don't know. But certainly it's not a laughing matter anymore. And this community is no longer being teased. We all know that there is something going on. And why is it all happening at the same time right now? I don't know, but it's tangible. We all can feel it, we all can hear it, and we all can see it. Is 2022 the year? Well, out of everything in the past, every year, we get up to New Year's Eve. Is this going to be the year of disclosure, this brand new year? Is this going to be the year that out of everything that has happened in the past, 2022 certainly seemed to me primed and ready for something. So I'm excited, Sean, and we'll wait and see. I don't have any predictions on what it may be, but we'll see, and we'll ride this out, my man. And thank you so much, and have a great, safe, fun, amazing weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. It's a great phone call right there, and I've got to get a break in. Our last break. We've got one more segment left. 747-228-2051. Another amazing Fader night tonight. And I'll be right back. I am your host, Jimmy Church. 747-228-2051. And more of your phone calls are next. Stay with me.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church. Jason Martell's book, Knowledge Apocalypse 10-Year Anniversary Edition, is now available. Most ancient cultures speak of a time when their gods visited them. They never say their gods came from across the ocean or from the mountains. They always came down from the skies. Was ancient man visited by gods or extraterrestrials? We have not been told the full truth about our human past. There was a time when all the ancient cultures lived amongst beings they considered their gods. The search for truth leads us down the path of learning where the ETs might come from and why they are here. To understand some of these advanced topics and learn the truth about human origins, buy the new book from Jason Martell, Knowledge Apocalypse, now in its 10-year anniversary edition, available on Amazon.com by clicking on the banners over on our site, or simply visit JasonMartell.com. That's JasonMartell.com. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at jimmychurchradio.com.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? Un-X Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNXDB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today, and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30 days free on ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. More breaking news of the good kind. The fire is out at the nuclear power plant. Yeah. Russian invasion eliminated for now. For now. That freaked out the world today. Freaked me out. 747-228-2051. I got too many calls on hold. But I said it anyway. It's Fader night. It's Thursday night. What a great night tonight on the show. And thank you to everybody that called in tonight. Let's go straight back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Yes, this is Thomas.
This is who?
Thomas Hunter.
Hi, Thomas. How are you, man?
Okay, I didn't realize the venue was about ghost stories.
No,
is that what you guys are on to?
No, man. It's whatever you want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
So what's on your mind?
Well, I was talking about the Ukrainian situation. Is that something that we can talk about?
It's open lines. Just as long as I stay out of politics, man. Stay out of politics. Okay. But what's on your mind?
All right. Well, let's get back to I watch you all the time. Your last interview with Lou Elizondo.
What about it?
That was something else. Like you always say, he drops little bits here and there, and you press him, backwards and forwards. And I like the interplay that you have the interview skills that you present to Lou. You almost put him in a corner, but he wiggles out. But I do like the interplay between you two, and I think that's what makes you a great interviewer, and definitely it's an asset to your show.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, I actually have a couple of questions for you about that, but here's the deal, and I think this happens with every guest that we have on the show. There is an element of trust, right? And if you trust the interviewer, right, and there's no apprehension. And there isn't any of that going on. If you trust the interviewer and I trust the guest, then the gloves come off, right? And there's a comfortable element there where you can open up. And the reason why that happens, now I have a lot of first-time guests on the show for sure, but with somebody like Lou or others that I've had on multiple times, the first time that they're on the show, you get all of the stuff out of the way, all the normal questions, right? You get that out of the way. And then when you get to the second show or the third show, those normal questions don't get asked. And we now know from both of us, from both sides, that we are going to start to explore areas that don't get asked, right? Okay, so... and that's what happens. So with Lou, by the time, I don't know how many times I've interviewed Lou now. I don't know how many phone calls I've had with Lou. I just don't know. We've now done a movie together. We've done a couple of special events together, and then of course multiple interviews. So I am able to ask whatever I want, and he knows that I expect the straightest answer that I can get, and that's ultimately what happened. So by the time this last interview, which was a couple of weeks ago, there's a lot of stuff going on, and he knows that I know that there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm going to ask those questions. How he chooses to answer, that's another thing, but he knows that. I'm not going to stop, right? right? And I am going to continue to push. And he respects that. And I also respect his position too as well, and his ability to answer with as much information as he can. Now, this is where I'm going to ask you a question, Thomas. What did you get out of the interview?
Well, one thing that's really stuck out to me was the Gillibrand Amendment.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The detail that she went into, she talked about CRs, crash retrievals. Like, why was that in there if it hasn't happened before?
Right.
And also the Air Force, I guess, not so willing to release the information they have from their pilots. And it was pointed out that they're the Air Force, so they have excellent ground radar and, aircraft radar. I'm ex-Navy, so I know that the Spy 1, 2, 3, the spy radar for the Navy is excellent. And I know that their fighter pilot, their radar is excellent. So I thought that was a great point as to why isn't the Air Force coming forth like with, they have really good footage. And you guys went around with that. Lou was in agreement. And I just thought that was a great point to come back, all encompassing the Gillibrand Amendment, which I totally, applaud her for. It seems like, unless I'm being fooled, it just seems like her heart's in the right place and she's going to go forward with however she can to get to the bottom of this. That's what I see.
Yeah, and you're right about all of that. And there were a couple of moments in that last interview where these things were addressed, and I had asked Lou if he was consulted on the amendment or Chris Mellon. And the reason why I asked Lou that is because when you read through those 140 pages, which I did, there's too much information in there. Now, I know she's got a great staff and an excellent staff, and they are going to do the research and really make sure that this is written the right way. But that information sounded like an episode of Fade to Black, right? In that, and I know you know what I'm talking about. It's not coming from somebody that doesn't know anything, and they're just reaching, and it's vague. No, the amendment was very to the point, and the information came from the inside. And so when I asked Lou about that, he kind of gave not really evasive, but he didn't say that he didn't consult. Right? And you always get something from that. He didn't say that he didn't, and he didn't say that Chris didn't. What he said was, and I'm paraphrasing, that of course she's got an excellent staff, and they are going to go to the right sources to make sure that this was worded correctly. That was his answer, more or less. There was that, and there was another point in the interview where you and I say crash retrievals, right?
Right.
He kept saying CR, and I thought about that during the interview where he said it too quickly, right? Too quickly. In other words, in his circles in the Department of Defense, and I'm not stating this as fact, but it sure does seem to me that he's had conversations and other people within the military and the Department of Defense, maybe even the Senate, and certainly the agencies. That's the vernacular that they use, right? They call them CRs, right? And it's right. It's too easy. Here's why I say that. I'm a military brat. And when you live in the military life, there's a way of speaking, and part of that is you have forms that you're filling out, right? And I've got to go get a WTX 19, whatever, right? There's these forms, right? And there are things, and everything has got this classification to it, and it's military speak. And those inside of the military know exactly what somebody else is talking about when they are referencing letters and numbers for something, right? I got to, whatever. I've got to go to the PX. Well, PX stands for Post Exchange. What is Post Exchange? That's the store. Okay, but if you're not in a military family or anything, and you have no clue, and you hear, well, I went to the PX today, and you hear somebody say, you wouldn't know what they were talking about. And that's what I'm referring to. So for him to just go, CR, says to me that CR is used a lot, and everybody knows that it's crash retrievals. And it's little things like that, Thomas, that when you go back and listen to the interview, and you listen, that's what you listen for, And
you press him about the CRO, and you asked him about right after that. It was like, how about New Mexico? And then he was like, well, I can't really go there. There's a lot of interesting data that came from that. Yeah. And you came
right.
That, hey, well, what does the interesting data point to? And he replied, the interesting data points to an extraordinary event, maybe two, that happened there. That's the kind of things that he comes out with when pressed by good interviewers like you. So kudos to you.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate that, Thomas. And I'm just going to be straight with you. I want to know this stuff just as bad as you and everybody else, right? I want to know, and it's an opportunity for me to learn something. And if I get that little nugget, right, out of Lou or somebody else, then we all share that together. The trick is don't let it just blow by you. actually listen, because there is stuff there. And I don't think that it's any accident. Lou's a very smart guy. I don't think it's any accident like he's blurting this out and he's made a mistake. No, he is very cleverly answering the best that he can so we can get what we want out of it, and without getting into trouble. There was, if we go back, I'm not sure what year this was, but I'm going to guess and say 3 or 4 years ago, I had Jacques Vallée on the show. And to my mistake, this was my mistake, and I admit it now, because I caught it after the show was over. It was like the next day. I was like, man, did Jacques really say that? But Jacques just said in passing that we have crash retrievals. We have in our possession. And then, and it just kind of moved on, and it's Jacques, and I'm listening to everything that he's saying. And I didn't circle back and go, okay, Jacques, what did you say? Did you just say, right? Did you? And I didn't do that. I have since talked to Jacques about this privately off of the air. And pressed him on it, but that's private conversation. I'm not going to go there now. But that was a mistake that I made, and I didn't go back and ask for clarification, because this was then mentioned not only in the New York Times, but now it seems that this is now a repeated subject that is happening over and over again. So the question is, do we have it? I'm assuming that we do, and why would it be in the Gillibrand Amendment, right? And it's specifically not only in Gillibrand, but in the 2022 budget, there are 5 points that are laid out there, or maybe 6, and one of them is, it's right there. It's a beautiful paragraph. Any UAPs crash, the debris must be reported and collected, and the technology within 2 weeks. All right, now, why would they put that in there unless these conversations about CRs are happening? Right, Thomas?
Right. Will that be the classified version or the version that everybody else gets?
Yeah, and now we have to wait and see, right? So we have to wait and see. The first report was fun. Man, there was so much drama behind it. It was so much fun. Now we know we're going to get 2 of those a year now. We're going to get one in June, one in December. And that's the unclassified public version. And then we'll get one classified version in December that only goes to the Senate Intelligence Committee, and it's not for you and I to see. But we know we're going to get 2 public versions of UAP reports now every 6 months, semi-annually. Hey, Thomas, enjoy your weekend, man. Thank you for the phone call.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate it. That's a great phone call right there. And and Thomas, I hope you're still listening. That is right there, proof to me that not only this audience is smart, but those out there that are interested in this subject, you guys are paying attention. And I really appreciate that. All right. Let's see who is up next. This is probably our last phone call of the night. Turn me down in the background. Turn me down. You got 3 seconds. Okay. You're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, it's John from Palestine, Texas.
Hey, John from Texas. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. What I'm interested in knowing is there was something that used to happen to me. Hadn't happened in a long time, but I'm 70 years old.
Uh-huh.
When I was young, I would be asleep in my bed, and I'd wake up because the corners of my bed would be bounced up and down violently. And I was just curious if that happened to anybody else.
Hasn't happened to me. We were talking about this last night on the show and kind of having a little laugh about it. Now, you said you're 70. It's 2022. Yes, you said this happened when you were young. So,
well, it happened several times. It happened over several years. Last time I remember it happened, I was in my 40s.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. And all of this happened in Texas?
Yes, sir.
You were too close to a Ted Nugent concert. See, that would explain all of it, man. Ted Nugent in Texas and that loud guitar. I don't know, and not to make light of this, right? But that would scare me, right? It's one thing to have stuff moving around your house. You put your keys down somewhere and now they're gone. All right, so that's funny, ha kind of stuff. But when it comes to something like, and I mentioned this last night on the show, John, which is I haven't had my bed shake, but I don't want to have my bed shake, right? I don't know what I would do. I don't know what would cause that. And whatever would cause it, do I really want to know? No, not really. So what do you think was going on?
I have no idea. It happened several times. It happened quite often. I have no idea what it is.
Now, was the house shaking or just your bed?
Just the bed. The corners of the bed to be bounced up and down violently.
Wow. And what did
the thing about it is,
did you talk to your parents about it?
No. Nobody ever came to see what the noise was about. So that made me think maybe it wasn't real.
Oh. Yeah, that's honest. That's honest, John.
Yeah,
that's a good way to look at it. But wait a minute though. It's one thing to think that it may not be real when you're young, but if it happens when you're 40, that seems pretty real to me, don't you think?
Well, yeah, it seemed like it, but like I said, I have no idea what was happening.
And why do you think it stopped?
I don't know.
Yeah. Wow.
Last time I remember it happening, I was in my 40s.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got a week. Next Thursday is another Fader night. If something happens this week, call me back. All right, just call me back and go, Jimmy, man, it happened. It happened after I talked to you, and it's back. But the question is, why did it stop? Did you move?
It wasn't all in the same place. It happened when I was married, when I was in my 20s.
Right.
Well, I was the only one in the bed.
Right. Well, that's a whole nother show.
But you never brought it up. Never talked about it.
Yeah. Wow, what a great phone call, John. And we love the great state of Texas, my man. And like I said, anything happens this week, call me back next Thursday. Tell us about it.
Okay.
I'll talk to you, John. And it's time to fade to black. That's a great phone call right there. And do I have... Let me look at my atomic clock. Can I squeeze one more in? Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Turn me down.
Yeah. Wow, what a great
Okay,
phone call,
all right. Well, there you go. There was your chance to get on the air. You got to turn me down. You got to be ready. Now I don't have time for another phone call. What a great night on the show. I want to thank everybody for calling in tonight. This is why I do Fade to Black. This is why I do. I mean, truly, my favorite night of the week is Fader night and just hanging out with all of you. I am your host, Jimmy Church. We've got a great week next week, as if this week wasn't amazing enough. We've got a great week lined up next week. And I'm hoping with like all of you that things are going to start to chill out. It's got to chill out. I am so thankful that that nuclear power plant didn't spin out of control. That freaked me out this afternoon. I didn't need any of that. Neither did anybody else. So let's hope that things start to chill out. That's it. It's got to chill out. The world needs some chill time. Like I said, our thoughts are with all of the families and children in Ukraine. I'm not playing around about that. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Viteau, and Mark T. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and this broadcast owned and copyrighted 2022 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Again, I want everybody to have a great, safe, fun, amazing weekend. Somehow make it happen. Until then, I'll see everybody on Monday. It's time to fade to black.